How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Baofeng radios. We're going to look at the performance that you can get out of one, and we're going to see if you need one for your emergency preparedness kit. How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at Baofeng radios. These are the radios that most people, when they just need something that's a little bit more sturdy than a handheld walkie-talkie that you'd get at a normal retail store, and you want a little bit more performance. These things are great little radios. For a box of 3 antennas for both radios, the clips, chargers, and cheap little headphones, I think it was 50 bucks for the whole thing off Amazon. So they're super affordable. They're very durable little things. You're impressive build quality on these things. And they actually have a lot of things that they can do. You can listen to aviation traffic, you can get weather channels, you can get radio stations, you can talk to each other very clearly. But one thing I've never seen on YouTube is somebody actually do a performance review and see what kind of range you can get out of these walkie-talkies. So today we're gonna go take a look. We're gonna go do a couple different ranges. We're gonna see what kind of performance we can get out of them and just take a good in-depth look and see if these are worth having in case of an emergency. So the plan is we're gonna go out to a couple different ranges. I'm gonna be radioing back to my house and just checking in. And we're gonna try to push these radios as far as they can go. Now I've done a little bit of testing with these, and from what I've seen is they can reach 3 miles at least very easily. Let's go push that range and see what we can get out of them. All right guys, we're out here where I did the test last time. This is exactly 3 miles away. I should mention before I do this test, this is taken on a very clear day across what is essentially 3 miles of marshland to my house. There's no obstacles or buildings in the way of this radio transmission. And last time I did this, we got a very clear transmission. Let's see what we can get. All right, Grace, can you hear me now?
It's a little staticky, but I can hear you.
All right, so a little staticky, but still can work, still hear very well. Let's go ahead and push it out to 5 miles and see if we can get her from there. We're about 5 miles straight line distance. Again, settings haven't changed. We're still talking across open space. There's a few buildings and trees in the way now. Let's see if we can go ahead and establish communications with home. All right, Grace, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you too. All right, so a little broken. Still can hear her clearly, can understand what she's saying. At 5 miles, that's pretty impressive. We'll go ahead and push it out to 6. We'll see. I don't have a whole lot of faith in this thing, but at 6 miles, let's see what we can do there. So this is a few days later after that first test, and I realized something while I was editing video, and that is I was using high frequency, which is great for penetration.
What?
But not great for distance. So I want to come back out here and try this again. We're going to be using the lowest frequency on the radio and see if it sounds any better. We're back out here at 5 miles, and we're going to see if we can get it in communication. All right, Grace, can you hear me?
A few moments later.
Okay, so it seems like, from this test at least, we're getting better performance out of the high frequency than we are the low frequencies. That's actually surprising. I thought that was gonna work better. I'm surprised that that didn't work at all, actually. We actually got more distance out of a high frequency. So, interesting test. I would like to see what you guys have to say about that and see what your experiences are with these. Very interesting. That is very interesting. All right, guys, we're about 6 miles away, 6.5 miles from home. A lot more trees, a lot more buildings in the way now. Let's go ahead and see if we can establish comms. All right, Grace, can you hear me? Grace, can you hear me? All right, I think that about settles it. Again, that depends on your conditions and your day, but 5 miles on a clear day with no obstacles is very impressive.
Are you trying to talk? Get a static?
All right, so she's just getting static at the house. We can hear her though. 6 miles away is pretty impressive. A lot of that is linked to the power output of the radio. Now, a little handheld like this isn't putting out a ton of power. Still, 6 miles of receiving and 5 miles of transmit and receive is very impressive for a little handheld like this. All right guys, so we just wrapped up testing these little Baofeng radios. Overall, I would say a very impressive show from just a little handheld radio that costs less than $100. I will say we were using these whip antennas. I tested all 3 antennas and I would say that these have the best performance overall. So if you're gonna get these, I would highly suggest getting these or going out and buying a better antenna somewhere else. But do you need a radio for your emergency survival kit? I would say yes. Maintaining communications is the most essential part of being a team. If you can't communicate with your teammates, then you're not going to work very effectively as a team. There are plenty of other ways to communicate, and maybe this isn't the right method for you, but a lot of guys have Baofengs, and they have little radios that you can use a Baofeng to talk to. Now, obviously, these aren't encrypted. There's nothing really special about them, but they're cheap, so you could hand them out and you could give them to somebody, and if you lost that, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Overall, very great little radios. I'm gonna do a piece later talking about how to encrypt your radio traffic so that nobody can understand you except for who you're trying to talk to. But for now, these little radios are not a bad little thing to have, and overall, I'm very impressed. Now, I am by no means a radio expert, and if you want to learn more about radios, there's a great channel. I believe it's called Grid Based. Go check that out if you want to check out and learn a little bit more. Those guys are super knowledgeable about radios, and they could set you on the right direction to finding the perfect radio for you and your family in a case of emergency. That's all I've got, guys. I appreciate you watching the video. If you would, go ahead and hit the like button, give me a follow. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.
Hey guys, one last thing before I go. If you struggle buying Christmas presents for your husband because he buys all the gifts throughout the year, buy him these. These things are great, and they're cheap, and he'll never know. They're just awesome. Every guy loves radios. They make great birthday presents, great Christmas presents. He'll love it, no matter who he is. Guys just love talking on radios. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.